Greetings. What's up, my people? Y'all alright? Made this transmission right here. Find y'all in a good state of mind, healthy state of mind, good spirits, or what have you, in terms of being in good standing with yourself, and and you know in today's world that we living in. You know what I'm saying? I just want to come before y'all for a minute and kick some knowledge dealing with everyday reality from my perspective, and also uh, in a way from your perspective, in terms of you getting through the course of the day, doing what you got to do, to provide for yourself, make sure you're good, you and your family, your loved ones, and your family, friends, and to people that's important to us in our lives. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. You know what I'm saying? More power to you. Continue to strive. In this world that's full of all kind of series of events. And storylines linked with danger. You know what I'm saying? With things and all what it crack up to be for other people. You know what I'm saying? But the nature of this transmission, you know what I'm saying, it's a pretty much it's for me to like put on blast, you know what I'm saying? The perspective of like in life when you doing right, you know what I'm saying? It's like damned if you do, or damned if you don't, or damned if you don't, or damned if you do, you know what I'm saying? Because, it's a lot of topics going around dealing with loyalty between peoples, you know what I'm saying? And it seems like it's always something popping up, you know what I'm saying, where individuals end up getting betrayed, you know what I'm saying, by individuals in their circle, you know what I'm saying, who you may affiliate with, but yet turn out to end up being a thorn in your side, you know what I'm saying, because of some kind of foul angle, you know what I'm saying, that they came at you at in a way that leave you like blown away, like, wow, this really came from you, my G? This came from you, Cup? Hold on. Let me back up. Go in my own quiet place. Analyze this situation and see what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it ain't me, because I'm good people. Ain't no reason for you to turn on me in a way that you did. You know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of these stories, you know what I'm saying, like in the social media and the YouTube streets, you know what I'm saying, where individuals, you know what I'm saying, is experiencing a lot of disloyalty from amongst individuals they associate with, you know what I'm saying, which takes me to certain experiences that happen with me that make my attitude justifiable in terms of the way I carry myself, you know what I'm saying, at this point now, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that I don't end up getting hurt, you know what I'm saying, by someone close to me who I thought had my best interest, you know what I'm saying, being a part of my life for what I'm thinking is for the right reasons. But yet, it's something going on in people, right? So when you look at it, you know what I'm saying, regarding human nature, right? Regarding human nature. Regarding human nature, right? To the point where you analyze, you know what I'm saying, the psychology or psychological standing in people, to where you notice it's something going on in human character, human nature, where the characteristics in people seems to be lined up with certain biblical stories that was talking about how biblical or Quranic, like man is in loss, or how the Most High created man to the point where certain species and beings or entities, where the hearts of men and women, the imaginations of their hearts was only evil continuously, which takes me to this experience to where I ended up in a situation as far as getting in trouble, right? You know what I'm saying? To where, okay, I ended up going to prison for certain crimes I committed, where, okay, I shouldn't have committed them, right? Where I shouldn't have committed them, right? To the point where okay, I was to learn from my mistakes. So after I learned from my mistakes, you know what I'm saying? As a result, there is a thing, what we call, you know, being granted a second chance at life as a result from learning from your mistakes. So here it is. Once when I was in a situation where I didn't, I guess, know no better, or I thought on an immature level to the point where I put them immature thoughts away as a result of becoming a man from wake up calls, right? And these wake up calls end up turning out to be life lessons, right? That enable me to know how to navigate through life in a real way, in terms of like developing real life skills that will enable me to be able to really win in life without being consumed by the lies of society and the world at large. Now, mind you, there are certain forces that don't glorify intelligence in a lot of us people, but yet there is a intelligence community that I am attracted to. So when I got into the situation that caused me to end up getting locked up, I made a vow to myself. I was like, you know what? Certain ignorant thoughts and behavior got me in this situation, but I'm gonna let them serve me as an example not to go through again for the betterment of myself, right? So as a result of me taking that proverb of life serious, I started noticing how I was elevating in consciousness, and other individuals, it appeared to seem like they was stagnant in their growth, where they was devolving in their consciousness, right? So I'm like, you know what? Wait a minute. Something's going on with this battle for the mind of humanity and people in general. So I started noticing how the quality of people's lives derive from the quality of their thoughts, right? Now, we've been conditioned to chase after the money, you know what I'm saying? And get rich or die trying to get rich. But there is proverbs that tell us, you know what I'm saying? What is it that a man or woman gain the world, right? And end up losing a soul. Notice how a lot of areas in society where we bombarded, especially through TV and the media, because a lot of us have televisions in our household where we influenced by what we see on TV that have an effect on our psyche and emotions, that plant seeds in our head to where our life is to be in alignment with what is portrayed to us in the media or on TV. Now, socially, you can do a social experiment and see how a lot of our real lives don't even line up with the lifestyles that they show us on television, that tell lies to your mind. So when you perceive these realities, you internalize them and think, that's who I am. That's how I'm supposed to be living. That's what I'm supposed to be pursuing in this world or in this life. What they keep feeding to me, that's programming my mind to be an individual who house those ideas coming from the designers of them programs that pretty much want to influence you in a way to be a product of that media environment in a real world society that is not that way. But yet we see a lot of people imitating that media society at the same time. So being an individual who have got a grip on your own thinking, where you have control of your own mind, you have control of your own thoughts, to where the thoughts that you have are thoughts that come from yourself, which are not thoughts programmed in your mind that have came from somebody else, as far as the external programming from the ideas of somebody else, or individuals in your environment that negatively, or individuals in your circle that you call yourself cool with every day, as far as, are you living they thoughts out in your life, where power taken away from you to where you empowering the influence power of the people that you are so-called cool with or who you associate with, where it boils down to who really care about you, who really love you, who really got your best self-interest at heart, who really care about you to the point where you will see the evidence of the care by them unconditionally being in your corner through thick and thin, through the ups and downs in your life. Now, mind you, I was speaking on the point of, a lot of us, it's like we damned if we do or we damned if we don't, because for whatever reason, right, it seemed like no matter what, as far as you being the type of individual who end up having like that chosen one energy, you know what I'm saying? People hate you for righteousness' name's sake, for just goodness' name's sake, because it seems like this world is a battlefield where we fighting a spiritual war, you know what I'm saying, to not end up, being under the controls of what's called the devil's web. Now, mind you, the disloyalty that's going on, here it is. I done changed my life for the better a long time ago, right? But yet, I continuously see, at the same time, certain forces through people, where certain spirits working through people, to where I'm like, is this the character of this person, or is it a spirit in them where they possessed by certain influences spiritually of a negative demonic source, to where they don't even realize that they being used and under the influence, like their mind has been influenced by a mind altering chemical such as drugs, right? So as far as myself, I like being in control of myself. I like to be internally cleansed to the point where I know I am not under the influence of a foreign spirit, and I know I'm not under the influence of a mind altering chemical that causes me to be out of my true character. Now, if you look at a lot of these storylines that's going on in these storylines, with all of this chaos going on, dealing with the plane crashes, the orbs in the sky, the crazy weather that appears to be weaponized by HARP technology or some other kind of weather manipulation machines that's creating a lot of unnatural, artificial weather patterns in our environments where we live, to where the ethers is manipulated in a certain way where things just feel strange. And a lot of people, you see them acting led way where, as far as the strange behavior in people, where you see people really acting out of their minds, to the point where you don't want to be around nobody because you can't trust them. Because it seemed like the American culture has turned into such a dog eat dog world, to the point where it's totally all about survival and the fittest, which is an accurate description of why it seems like it's a lot of carelessness going on when it comes to, people in a society, you know what I'm saying, will have more refined character when it comes to caring for their brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? So all these hardened personalities have become to be a badge of honor, or something that is appeared to be what's in style now, to just be hard-hearted. You know what I'm saying? As a result of being in this cold world. You know what I'm saying? Where people becoming heartless. You know what I'm saying? We seeing, like, in biblical proportions, that these is the signs of the times. You know what I'm saying? Where you have, like the scriptures was talking about, Bible, Holy Quran, and other spiritual reading materials. You know what I'm saying? About the last days, people turning on each other, mother against father, father against son, men and women forgetting the natural use of themselves, in terms of men being with men and women being with women, when naturally men and women are supposed to be exclusively with each other, in terms of being couples on a straight level, the straight path, you know what I'm saying? And not as opposed to the crooked, unnatural path, to the point where you have political circles that condone, unnatural men and women, men and men relationships and women relationships, which is totally in opposition and backwards, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the natural nature of how we should conduct ourselves as men and women, with natural affections for one another. Me as a man, I have natural attraction for the woman. And the woman, in her right mind, has a natural attraction toward me. Yet, due to a lot of psychological operations, through them creating a certain, what they call war of the sexes, or a battle of the sexes, where men and women is in competition for power and at each other's throats, to the point where women is acting out of character, trying to become masculine like men, where men who ain't going for it is being defiant, where we refuse and we be damned if we end up feminizing ourselves to be acting like women. That's not going to happen. But yet you have certain men who has been conquered in their mind, who have become feminized, where they got female spirits. You know what I'm saying? That's unacceptable. So look at that picture. That's unnatural. So for a man to be a leader through our free will, right? We have a free will, individual instinct, right? To be men of power. But you have the enemy of man on a spiritual level, that where they want to strip man of his power. And at the same time, these men who have the power, you know what I'm saying, and certain principalities in high places, they get access to all the women, but they got the women eating out their hand because of the riches that they display before these women as a weakness, because these women have a soft spot and a weakness for these material trappings, you know what I'm saying, where they end up eating at the table of the evil one, where they'll sell a good man out, you know what I'm saying, in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like the saying go. You know what I'm saying? Why so many good men is being so hated, or, you know what I'm saying, or nice. You know what I'm saying? The tools of the evil one use technology through knowledge to make good men look bad and bad men look good. So when women or females or women be teaching their daughters, you know what I'm saying, to be accessible to what they call bad boys, right? Now mind you, now mind you, you got the good guy, right? Who got knowledge of self, know how to treat a woman, stay out of trouble, got a brain, yet is single with no woman, because a lot of the women been conditioned to look at him as someone who is undesirable. Why is that? When I'm a man just like the next man, even though he want to be classified as a bad boy, I don't care what you call yourself as a man. I'm a man just like the next man. Though I show traits that look like a description that is opposite of the bad boy, to where I'm not involved with certain activities, yet I'm a man that live my lifestyle on my terms, to where I don't live certain ways like other individuals, yet I'm a man, to where I will protect what's mine, just like I will protect what's mine, just like the next man will protect his. So that's the nature of us as men, to protect and provide. Yet, you know what I'm saying, there's some kind of twisted discrepancy, you know what I'm saying, that has developed in the minds of a lot of these women to be confused about good men. When good men, you know what I'm saying, will protect his just like the next man. So where do they get this stupidity from? You know what I'm saying? That caused them to miss out on a good man. But see, this the angle. They miss out on, it's funny, it's comical. They miss out on a lot of us good men because we don't want they asses. Because of them being so gullible you know what I'm saying, to the idea to think that I'm not good enough. You know what I'm saying? When I am good enough. A lot of women been conditioned to think unrealistically and miss out on a good man on a large scale. Because you hear them from, oh, the good men, ain't no good men out here. Yes, they are. They all over the place. But y'all been so brainwashed and conditioned to think that because a lot of these men don't have certain things that y'all been conditioned to think men should have in the media, to brainwash y'all into thinking unrealistically, to the point where y'all being robbed of so much time by the mind manipulators who tricked y'all out of having a good man in for the duration of your life. But yet y'all been intercepted into the belly of the beast so deep to the degree where y'all sleep with the enemy in disguise and don't even know it, who drain y'all of all y'all resources, to the point where y'all become so dissatisfied, you know what I'm saying, with these bad boy individual characters that you think got the answers. But yet a lot of us brothers who live a different lifestyle, who up in knowledge, you know what I'm saying, who have certain answers that can really meet the needs of nurturing your inner spirit, where you will be satisfied. We know what we doing. But since y'all full of so many games of mind manipulation from them spirits of manipulation inside of y'all that make y'all hypergamous and solipsistic in character, right? It causes y'all, you know what I'm saying, to end up being dissatisfied. But yet you gotta maintain that mask that y'all be wearing, you know what I'm saying, to appease to your twisted egos. I know it gets deep, you know what I'm saying? But that's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all not that analytical to the point to where y'all get won over to the realistic ideas of being with a lot of us good men, you know what I'm saying, whose spirit is clean and intact with a certain moral decency, right? That's in alignment with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Now back to these stories where it appear like it ain't no love. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful to be exposed to a household when I was brought up with love in it. I know what the love frequency feel like. And that's what I have to give in a relationship. Better yet, the love frequency that is operating through the ethers from within my being, my light being inside, is really a source of healing, really, for the world. Because based on how I carry myself as a civilized individual in a society that's supposed to reflect high standards of civilization, you know what I'm saying, we supposed to reflect, you know what I'm saying, being refined individuals in society of civilization. But yet we have unrefined mentalities in the environment that are savage in pursuit of happiness, to the point where people don't really know what real happiness is about. So there you have it. A lot of confusion running rampant in the communities, the societies, and in the world, and even amongst political circles, to where certain people that's in power, they have a certain consciousness level that's rooted in a certain mentality to where they blinded of certain real sciences of the aim and purpose of the Most High's grand design for us on the planet being tillers of this land, right? So, despite that fact, you still have forces who just don't get it. You still have people who just don't get it, right? They are lacking wanting to have certain higher consciousness and knowledge of self. Watch this, right? Remember when I got into that situation where I made a vow to myself where I was like, you know what? I'm going to let ignorance serve me as an example, right? Not to be prevalent in my life, so to speak. So I start intellectualizing myself by connecting with the intelligence community of consciousness, of knowledge of self, right? And when I did that, I had a certain DNA explosion that Partner Babylon, the master teacher, Dr. Malachi York, helped guide me through the right knowledge that he provided through the scrolls, right? When I got a hold of them scrolls, I was like, wait a minute, this is fun. Because I used to have fun being what's considered, before I got in trouble, we was in what they tried to mislabel us as, which we wasn't, as far as like menaces to society out in the streets doing wild stuff and super predators and things of that nature, from a social judgment by certain political figures who was a part of certain circles of politics that pretty much was like biased in nature. You know what I'm saying? From their position in society in comparison to the menace to society. As far as how they seen us or perceives us like we wasn't going to amount to nothing. But that was a trick and a misnomer to where I seen like, wait a minute, that don't fit the description of me. So by me proving that wrong through knowledge of self, certain circles don't want us to become revolutionary in mind where we have complete constructive change through our thinking to be a better man and a better person for ourselves, our families, and the community at large, and end up being world leaders in all areas of people activity, right? So with that said, my thing is this. When I got into knowledge of self, because a lot of us black people, we like stuff that's in style. We like stylish, nice things. We like to shine. You know what I'm saying? We like gold chains. We like nice cars, beautiful women, fine clothes, the finest of threads, and good, food, cuisine dishes, good eating. And, we like to go out to nice places and things of this nature. But how can you have that with no money? How can you have that, right, with no money, no job? When yet there was a society that created a situation where we wasn't getting no jobs, but drugs was plentiful in the environment for you to participate in, you know what I'm saying, to take a chance and get rich and shine through those particular activities where outside of them activities, you have what's called people behind the curtain pulling certain strings, or you got certain unseen hand forces that's responsible for our environment to be a certain way economically for us to take a chance and do the things that we was doing, hustling in the streets. Before it was a matter of time before certain police forces, you know what I'm saying, will apprehend individuals who was doing certain things that was pretty much set up like a sting by them, like to create an environment, you know what I'm saying, in the black communities to participate in certain activities that was considered illegal, that was socially engineered that way. Now think about that. So if the game was rigged up, and you find out that it's rigged up, but some of us find out it was rigged up as a result of it being too late, as a result of being a victim of the social engineering. You know what I'm saying? It ain't funny, but these are the deep thoughts that go into certain scientists of engineering environments from the minds of certain thinkers, of people behind certain scenes, you know what I'm saying, that we don't see but yet feel the effects of in where we are at, where we see. You know what I'm saying? So, with that said, no matter how smart we are, we always have to use our head. You know what I'm saying? Because these forces that's at work is 24/7, 365 days of the year. You know what I'm saying? To where they are fixed in position, set in their ways, with a plot and plan, you know what I'm saying, to survive, doing what they have to do to enrich themselves while the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. But yet, it takes me here too. I had noticed this brother, you know what I'm saying, the hip hop community, right? Or he into hip hop. By the way, I'm into hip hop too, right? To where I love making hip hop songs. I'm passionate about hip hop music. I'm passionate about music because I was brought up in a household where music was a part of our family. So it was in me, but it ended up manifesting in me later on in my life through going through a lot of life experiences, to where I start having a maturation of mind. Like, I'm gifted in a lot of certain areas. Let me start exercising and cultivating my gifts. So I started getting back off, into music and drawing and things of this particular nature. And by the way, I noticed that I'm multi-talented in a lot of things and spiritually gifted too, with certain spiritual inklings. Like I'm drawn to spiritual things. So when a certain experience transpired for me to literally end up, wait a minute, let me sit down, get by myself, and I end up reflecting on my life and what my life really means when it comes to the bigger picture and the eyesight of the Most High, God, Al Kulum, the Creator, the All, to where I literally like, wait a minute, start seeing through people. I've been seeing through people, but I mean to this degree to where, you know what? Let me separate myself for real. Take this into consideration. Separate myself for real from the unclean things of the earth, of the world, or in this system, where I can start having clear communication with the Most High. That was a real position where the Most High really became active in my life, to where it's this particular scripture that say, I will go before you, the Most High, God being in our life, right? By separating ourselves from the unclean things of the world, to where we can have clear communication with the Most High, to where the Most High will work on our behalf with our guardian angels, I will go before you and set the crooked places straight. Like a military team, right? Like you have a leader of a certain squad before the rest of the team members go into a room. Okay, I'm gonna go in there and make sure it's clear first. Make the crooked places straight. Make sure it's straight for you. If anything in there crooked, I'm gonna get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can advance in safety. So that's how the Most High work on our behalf with our guardian angels. So when we out here in the world, that we is in, but not of it. Because when we not of that world, we get connected to the real world, the spirit world, where the spiritual forces dwell and operate that other people don't see, but yet we see. And by us seeing these spiritual beings and entities operate on our behalf in the spirit world, because we are with them and they are with us. So by them being with us, it's true. You know what I'm saying? Being in the hands or in the bosom of the Creator, the Most High, we do have divine protections on us when we start to articulate messages to the masses, to show the masses indeed that the message that we have is from on high, from the spirit world. Like the Messiah was like, I am from above, you are from beneath. Meaning that by a lot of people of the population not separating themselves from the unclean things of this world and this system, they are of that matrix of control. They are of that matrix of mind control, to the point where they are slaves to basically the evil ones. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, the spiritual war that's taking place, that's being manifested before our eyes, and all of these series of events that keep taking place, we see these series of events linked up or connected. Linked like a link. These is linked or connected with danger. People have been victims of violence, being the victims of this violence has been perpetrated by wicked strangers, people we don't know. Because behind the curtain, you know what I'm saying, of all of this that's going on, is beyond, it's connected with what's called the political pageantry. Things that is displayed before us like a parade, right? These series of events is indeed a part of certain learned men who said that if certain things happen in politics, right, you better believe it was planned that way. Now, wait a minute. Certain stuff that we've been seeing, dealing with all of this chaos, is planned that way? No. That can't be accurate. That can't be a true statement. That has to be that has to be your imagination running a little too wild, so to speak. You know what? Let me see. that takes me, I was finna go into this certain reading material, but I'm gonna just keep it 100 right here, like I always do with the read material, or just freestyling, or just making points from the read material. The unthinkable stuff that we seeing, right? Like all of a sudden, the plane crashes, the orbs in the sky, orbs shooting down drones, issues about the new diseases sprouting up, viruses and things of this particular nature, the misinformation, the lies, the confusion, the chaos, the inflation, and the unnecessary lies being told to us on a daily basis. Yeah, we living our lives. They're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway in these certain circles of governments, things of this nature. They're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. Cause we still got our own lives to live. Like what they do don't affect us socially. Look, think about this. Do you have rights or not? If you do have rights, where did you get them from? Do the rights that you have come from nature, or do they come from man giving them to you, or do they come from God? In a language you can understand, because the Most High has many names and many different cultures. So, with that said, right, our minds has to be open, but yet these forces want to cause you to have tunnel vision, where you see down this certain tunnel without seeing the bigger picture of the rest of the world around you. See, that's the key. In the book of the Art of War, right? Never put yourself in a position where you can be defeated. You got to know these psychological chess strategies out here in life. Each one teach one. What are you teaching? What are you saying to your brothers and sisters as your brothers and sisters keeper? They try to make being your brother's keeper an evil thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what was this rhyme I say? In one of the rhymes I put together. It was like pretty much, I'm gonna just make this statement. We gotta learn to love each other and unite. Think about why we haven't united yet as a people. Oh wow, that's such a big issue. That's too deep. What you think? What is it? Why we haven't really? That's too deep. We going too deep, man. Why we haven't? What is the real reason why we haven't united as a people and organized around unity, economically and spiritually, through our true spiritual science, right? Which is about moral correctness and divinity. Think about that. Divinity, right? Now, we have a language called Nuwapic, where the word divinity is about what's divine, but the master teacher one moment. The master teacher took it deeper, so we can look at it at a deeper perspective with the Nuwapic tone called Ashuk, 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 divine love. Panabab Yanun, baby. Come to set the record straight. So in setting the record straight, we start to do things right. So when we embrace right knowledge, we do things correctly. We see things correctly because for 6,000 plus years, we've been under a spell, right, of what's called a lunar cycle, which is a moon cycle of the night, by it being pretty much like a cold cycle of wrong knowledge, of the wrong way. But now we are in this 6,000 year cycle of what we call the sun cycle. It's a revolution of the mind into what's called right knowledge through the out formation, converted into information through the cosmic knowledge of Nuwapu, Nuwapu, our true spiritual science. So taking things into consideration, step by step. There's a saying, you gotta crawl before you walk. True. But how long you gonna be crawling with the low information that was given to a lot of our people by design to handicap our cognitive functioning, which get in the way of us reaching and comprehending higher knowledge, which is a birthright that we have to receive as a culture, transcendental knowledge that is really of the higher regions, the higher realms of cosmic, godly psychology. So with that said, we find ourselves where we at today. A lot of us, we have to still find ourselves. You can find yourself. If you haven't found yourself, you can identify with your true cultural ways to serve as a guiding light to lead you back into finding your true self. Like when I had said earlier, right? When I had got access to the Knowledge of Self books through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? Noble Drew Ali, Dr. Malachi York, Asai Isa Ahadi Ahmadi, Netta Aferdi Atumri, Panabab Yanun. It was a certain light cut on in me, right? Where I was like, dang, this is fun, getting this awareness about myself and the realities of the world, to where the knowledge served as an equalizer that put me on a educated level, a knowledgeable level, to where I can compete in a competitive environment of thinkers who think in certain ways in this world, in a society, to where it was a term where we was talking about how the so-called lesser learned people would end up confounding or something. What's that? The wise of this world, to the point where the right knowledge that Panabab Yanun came to bring us up to speed with is beyond the comprehension of what's considered the human beast of this physical plane of they intelligence communities. So when a certain perspective of the master teacher is saying that no one can match his intelligence, this is from a bloodline of a God seed that we are connected to and yet come from us as an intelligence community that constructed or participated in the global development to where we played parts in building schools of higher intelligence with monuments in place that reflect our greatness, such as the pyramids all over the planet. So these higher civilizations that appear to be ancient civilizations where it appeared that like they deserted. The people not there no more. Where did these people go? With they such brilliant knowledge? With they such brilliant cultures? Where did they go? They just disappeared. And the modern societies of today don't even have technology to even compete or compare or figure out how they geometrically done these mathematical feats of science and masonry. We can't even duplicate today what they have done with this great technology that we have in today's scientific and technological communities. So what is it about these ancient civilizations that we connected with, right? But yet, in the ancient civilizations, the people appear gone, but we link to them. Don't you know that we are them people? Which is the secrets. We are them. We still connected to them. Now, in light of, say for instance, using your imagination and asking questions like, wait a minute, I have to think outside the box through using my brain and ask some questions and have a desire to know that, wait a minute, it's a bigger picture going on. There's too many missing links. But the missing links still show and prove that those links are still connected to the missing links, which are links to the links that are connected still. So when we think about these certain things that deserve pondering upon, as far as how can I get an answer to this question to figure out the mysteries of this life? Because you have secret societies, you know what I'm saying, that's full of so much secrecy. Okay, what is the secrets that they holding from me and you, right? When this should, or supposed to be, a superpower that prides itself on transparency. But yet, we see there isn't transparency. Why? Because of secrets kept from us. See the double speak there? Like you have certain cultures that talk about these type of people. He who speaks with forked tongue. He who speaks with forked tongue. Right? And in terms of